High Spots and Cheap Pops presents Silicon Steve Valley, Lottie Dottie, and we are here to pick and preview your Summerslam 2023. Lottie Dottie, let's get right into it. You have a 2-match lead. There are the numbers right there. So you're 2 up, and we have this monster pay-per-view SummerSlam. And what I like about this is that both pay-per-views are massive. SummerSlam and All In, of course, at Wembley Stadium. That's going to be big, so I'm excited. The juices are flowing. It's a perfect storm. You had a 4-match lead. I feel really confident about my picks for this SummerSlam. Are you ready, my brother?
I am ready, and I'm buying your confidence, considering that you just did your picks 30 seconds ago.
And I did it in about 30 seconds as well. It was a full minute you had to wait for my situation, but
I love the process.
I had the idea. I actually watched a little bit of Monday Night Raw this week. And yeah, I wish I loved the Judgment Day a bit more. I'd probably enjoy the show a bit more. But anyway, I'm sure we'll talk quite a bit about the Judgment Day in this particular segment. Lottie Dottie, we're off.
We are off, and we are talking about SummerSlam happening in Detroit, Michigan. Who is opening that show? I'm not sure if you heard. None other than everybody's favorite musician, Kid Rock. T-minus 13 seconds until Silicon Steve Valley's head explodes. And we are off to the first match. Let's start off with Logan Paul against Ricochet. Easy peasy Logan Paul for me.
Yeah, he needs a win. And Ricochet, he can afford a loss. 100%. I got Logan Paul as well.
So you got Logan. Let's go Ronda Rousey against Shayna Baszler.
I struggled this one briefly, but I realized why do this program if you're going to have Ronda win, especially if there's rumors she's going to be leaving WWE. So I took Shayna, and I think it's going to be a big win for her. They did a really good job on Monday Night Raw setting up this rivalry.
Yep.
And Ronda Rousey sucks, so I'm hoping Shayna wins.
It's the end of the Rousey era, and it really kind of went out with a little poof, if you will. And she came in like a bat out of hell, basically, with Triple H, and that mixed tag team match was Angle and Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great way to enter the business, but for someone that's been pretty vocal about actually not liking the business on certain occasions, it would sort of show in the ring. So, Arrivederci, Ronda Rousey, and I pick Shayna Baszler as well. Let's go Brock Lesnar against Cody Rhodes.
I don't give a shit.
It's gotten to that point for me, too.
I'm going to pick Cody, and I will say this. They had this blow-off spot this past Monday night, and Brock Lesnar, they had this blow-off spot this past Monday night, and Brock Lesnar came out and tried to do like a Paul Heyman. It was probably the weakest promo Brock has cut since he came back in 2012, because anytime he did a promo, it was usually short and sweet, and it was cool. This wasn't. This was awkward and weird. All he did was want Cody to come out and shake his hand. And so Cody comes out. He gave him to a count of 5, and he's leaving because he didn't like the town, and he hates people, so that's cool. I get it. And when he got to 2, then the lights hit, and then Cody comes out. Cody comes out, stares at him, and shakes his hand. And then Brock leaves the ring, but he gives Cody one of the, little shoulder action on the way out. And Cody just decided, that's it. I've done it, had it this time. That's it. You're not going to disrespect me again in front of millions of people. Well, you emasculated me more than one occasion. You, Brock Lesnar. He didn't do one of those.
That's too bad.
I can wax philosophical on how badly I want to beat your ass. But quite frankly and quite simply, I'm just going to do it. So Cody does a tope outside of the ring. Brock gets past it. They brawl a little bit. And then Brock beats him up pretty good. But he's beat up Cody really bad, I think, 2 or 3 different other occasions. This was easily the weakest of the week, and it was the one that was right before your show. So this has not been great. It's just simply to keep Cody busy on his ascension to maybe beating Roman or whatever, finishing the story. whatever the case may be. But this hasn't done anything for either guy, this feud.
No.
It's just that simple. And Cody's momentum has stalled a little bit. I'm sorry. There's naysayers on the internet that are saying it hasn't. No, it has. The reaction on this past Monday night was not as great as you would think. At least I don't remember it. I was stoned and fast forward most of the show.
I agree with you. This feud has deflated both of their segments. So anytime they're out there now, I don't really care. And honestly, I haven't cared about Cody since the day before WrestleMania. That, like, after he lost, we got to that next Raw, that 24 hours. That was that. When I saw
wait. Whatever happened to your rubber chicken? Was that you? You son of a bitch.
I didn't have that great of aim. I can't necessarily take credit for that. But my God, man, that was the last moment. Like, and it's a really quick plummet. And they're forcing him basically down our collective throats. And for what? And this is he's going against Brock Lesnar, and it's just not working for some reason. For either of them.
Yeah, it has not worked. But either way, Cody goes on. So it was similar to the Blackpool Combat Club Elite feud. It was like you expected more, and it never really came to what it was, even though those dudes worked their asses off. So I'm not going to bitch about what they did, but it could have been done better as well. But we'll get to that in another video. Next match.
Well, let's go. And I chose Cody as well, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said
no. I don't know if I mentioned it, but just so we don't forget. Next match. Hey, let's go from Cody to the SummerSlam Battle Royale, starring LA Knight, Sheamus, evidently.
I think again, I'm going to pick LA Knight because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
For anyone else to go. On to the next Vladdy Dottie. So we have not had a difference of opinion yet. It's very hard for me to catch you if you're picking the same as the kid.
Very true. Next match. Let's do the Intercontinental Championship match with Gunther against Drew McIntyre. I'm going Gunther.
Yeah, I don't think Gunther loses just yet. And we're still not 100% Drew's going to be around past WrestleMania next year.
Yep.
No, and you got to build Gunther up. I don't think he loses at SummerSlam, but I'm looking forward. It should be a great match.
Yeah, my prediction with Gunther, he's going to surpass Honky Tonk Man, and then when they retire him and he goes to the Hall of Fame, they're going to refer to him as the greatest Intercontinental Champion ever, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, that'll be his moniker.
You know the Honky Tonk Man's going to be pissed off. Did the Honky Tonk Man pass recently?
No, he's still alive.
God bless him. Honky Tonk Man, is going to be bitter as shit. He's going to go on a podcast and run down Gunther. The guy can't cut a goddamn promo. I was headlining in Madison Square Garden. We're selling out every damn month. That me, Gunther never going to do that. I don't think Gunther is. He's Nazi. Well, look.
He can't shake, rattle, or roll.
Anyway, on to the next.
Let's go with the Women's Championship match between Asuka, who's the champion, triple threat, actually, Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair.
I took Asuka. I think she's going to maintain it. This was the one that I had a little bit of a problem with. I know my gut's like, I'll just give it to Charlotte. She's been back she's been back for 2 months already. She's got to get a title and have it for 3 weeks and then drop it.
And I literally chose her because of that.
All right, so we got a difference. Let's go, my beautiful Japanese beauty, Asuka. I can listen to her just yell for 5 minutes straight. Then I'd probably get annoyed. But I like when she just goes nuts on someone and then gets all, like she goes into character. That baddie lady gets me crazy. I'm a big mark for Asuka.
She's very talented for sure, man. Let's go to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor.
I think Seth Rollins maintains this championship. I don't think Finn Balor wins this title.
I chose Finn Balor.
Ooh. Incredible. Possibility.
You know what, man? And reason is he is, what is he? He's lost like the last 3 matches to Rollins. And I honestly have a feeling if he wins it, Damian Priest is going to cash in on him.
It could be interesting, and you could see the Judgment Day implode. But I think they're going to let that, if he does win it, Damian Priest would be, I think, more served to have it on his person while Finn is still in the faction. And then you have that visual, you have that thing where it's always in the back of his head that he might cash in. But I don't think that's happening. I think Seth wins this one. But now you got me second guessing myself. But I went with Seth Rollins. Seth frickin' Rollins. I just think it's a little too soon to have your inaugural champion lose a championship. He only won it like 3 or 4 months ago. Not even. So
I'm also reading things about, he did an interview with Logan Paul, and he mentioned injuries that need to be taken care of.
Oh, well, I didn't know that piece of business. What the fudge, man? Well, good for Finn Balor then. But I wanted to bitch about something. Last week on Raw, the end of the match was a 4-way beatdown on Seth Rollins. Like, every one of them did their finisher. I think Rhea Ripley kicked him in the balls and then lit him on fire or something. I mean, they beat the living shit out of Seth Rollins, where there's no way he was kicking out of a 3. And Damian Priest is sitting there with the briefcase. I'm like, why don't you just cash in right now? You have the championship. Boom, over. Like, that's the kind of thing that just infuriated me. I don't know why. But literally, he's lying down there. 3 of your friends are there, supposed friends. Get a referee in. You're the new world champion. Over. Your title reign begins. You are the new champion. You're headlining against your buddy Finn. No big deal, and whatever. You can have your match. So I don't know why that annoyed me, but it did.
So lacks logic. It's totally what should have happened.
I mean, literally, they all did their finisher. Like,
he's not going to kick out of that.
And though they beat the crap out of him before that anyway, they were doing other moves and things, and he was already in a. I mean, it was clearly he was destroyed, and there's no way in any feasible way he would be able to kick out of all those things. So it just to me, it's one of those things that it's, you know what, it might be a small thing. It's a small thing, but
are you going to kill him for it?
I just did. It was silly. And that's why I don't buy the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley and a list.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. And I'm a Finn Balor guy, you know, like I was a fan of his, and I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. That's another reason I'm thinking they might spin Finn away from them, and it would be like Priest, Dominic, and Rhea Ripley.
He's pretty stale as a heel, isn't he? Japan, he was a little bit more. He was the real rock and roller.
Yeah, not so much here. Yeah, the problem with Balor is he'll never have the momentum that he had coming from NXT to go face Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship, being the first champion, having a great match, winning it, and then is injured and literally has it ripped from his hands.
I think it's
bittersweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he'll never have that again. And so, when he's out there, it's like, I don't know if anybody else is sort of walking in those shoes right now, at that level. But we'll see what happens. I rolled the dice on that one. It's just something I'm like, why would they have him lose a 4th time to Rollins too? It was like, if he had like a cheating win in there somewhere, but yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Well, this is my problem too. I just think this title, he just won this championship a couple months ago.
Yeah.
This is supposed to not be a secondary title. This is supposed to be the top championship on Raw, and you're doing the first champion in like 3 months. I don't like that. I hated it, and this title has been a joke. If he loses this title is a fucking joke. It's a glorified Intercontinental title. In fact, you can make an argument the Intercontinental Championship would mean more at that point in time, if you can't make that argument already. So and look, I'm getting pissed off. It might not even happen at this point, but if Seth Rollins loses this championship already, I think that it just devalues this title even more when you really are trying to build it up. It's a poor job if Balor wins just because of that.
I agree with you. And the thing was, like, I would have gone Rollins, but when I looked at that interview and he's talking about, um, there was three different areas that he had injuries, but the one that he was most worried about was his back, and he had stem cell therapy. It worked for the short term, and he said now it's fading away, and he's like dealing with it. So I'm like, you know what? They probably want him for WrestleMania. Might be a good time to sort of, let him heal and recoup and deal with it.
Is it something, did he allude to it being something that will keep him out for a long time, or was it going to be surgery, or he didn't go that far?
He didn't, I could track down the quote, but.
No, it's okay. It's just, I just wasn't sure. Did he mention surgery at all?
He basically saying everything but surgery hasn't, the non-surgical things that he has done worked, but for the short time, and it seems like sort of alluding to, but never says it. So if he said it, then everybody knows.
Yeah, then he could go out, and then he can come back right around Royal Rumble, and there you go. Yeah. Spend time with his daughter. He deserves a break, dude. Yeah. He's been going nonstop for a while now.
And I was thinking that too. Yeah, and they can't have him have something really bad happen to that back, especially, and then he's out for an uncontrollable amount of time.
It's just again, it's going to devalue the title. But I'm with you. I think you might have hit the nail on the head there. But we went the different ways, so we are going to have two different ones at least.
If I had a bet, I'd bet on you being right, but I just rolled the dice on that one. So the undisputed Universal Championship, this all comes to a head with the Bloodline story. Something that's a little bit tiresome as well. We're talking about Cody being a little bit, and I just feel like this has really lost a lot of the wind that was pushing it. So,
you know what it's like? You ever see in one of those movies where it's ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and they had to overcome every single odd? The first of the recent Star Wars, I think maybe all the Star Wars movies like that, but the more recent Star Wars is that they had this huge mountain to climb, this huge goal, or this huge thing to slay, this huge dragon to slay, and they do it, and you think they're in the clear, and then the movie's added like 20 minutes because there's another thing that they have to worry about. And sometimes it's like, okay, dude, I get it. And I think we're getting to that point with the Bloodline. It's been great. They're still telling a good story. But I don't think I don't care as much as I did a couple months ago. And let's be real for a second. The pay-per-views have been really good, but WWE in general has been pretty mid since WrestleMania. It's just the way it is. I'm fast forwarding a lot more. They brought up a lot of NXT characters that have not impressed me or gotten me to even think about not fast forwarding. And at some point, look, I'm watching the Bloodline every week, and they're doing good work, but the magic doesn't seem like it's there right now. So I'm with you 100%.
And it's like a little bit repetitive for me. Like, how many times are we going to see Jay on the mic and talking to Roman? And I'm thinking, like, okay, like we keep on, you're talking about the Bloodline, him being the tribal chief. We haven't seen the elders in I don't know how long. And listen, I'm sure Rikishi could probably do some of the traveling if necessary. Like, this is like his two sons that Roman has really bullied. Like, we haven't even had a moment in the ring there where it just takes it up a notch and it's more personal, it's familial. And we don't get it. And it's just Roman and Solo and the Wise Man and Jay and or Jimmy. And okay, ever since Sammy has left the building. So now it's just internal, and it's at the level where I've stopped kind of caring. It's lost some of the oomph for me, if you will. But if you want me to go first, I'll go first in terms of picks.
I'm picking Roman. I'm staying strong.
Yeah. I picked Roman as well. There's no rules in this. It's basically it's some sort of tribal match or whatever. It's a
tribal
no
combat.
Match. Tribal combat, which is no DQ. So
why do they always got to do that? And by the way, I think AEW is the same shit. It's not just WWE. They'll both name a no disqualification match something more grandiose for you to be more intrigued by it. Yeah. And this is just, again, it's just so it's just no holds barred. Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess all it is. You wonder how the finish is going to go. Still rumors. Look, the God is still out there. Gorillas of Destiny. I don't see them popping up in AEW anytime soon. So I think Gorillas of Destiny might be in AEW. I'm sorry, in WWE. I think Gorillas of Destiny might be in WWE, which you've alluded to for several months now. That might come to fruition. Does Jimmy come back and play a role in this match? They've been trying to blame Jay for Jimmy's downfall a lot. Is there any way Jimmy would turn on Jay? I don't think you should do that, but I could see it happening. The ultimate betrayal of Jay and make Jay the most sympathetic character, but if he loses,
extends it.
And at that point in time, it's like, okay, really?
Yeah. Like, I need interaction with, like, Rikishi. Even, say if Roman brings in God, that's something different. But most importantly, I've heard rumors of The Rock and Grayson Waller having some sort of interaction. And Waller even seems to be, like, coaxing him and during his matches now, doing like a Grayson Waller people's elbow thing. So I'm like, is The Rock going to come and show up and give this kid the rub while the Bloodline storyline is going on, and they're not going to acknowledge that? They have got to have The Rock involved in this.
There could be a theory that The Rock is there as an appearance for Grayson Waller, and then at the end of the night, Jimmy's still out, so it's just Solo and Roman, or maybe the God is there. I don't know, or maybe something happens where they have Jay in a compromising position. If you smell, place comes unglued. Rock Legan's house. Jay hits the Usos splash, wins the title. You could see that happening. That would be a magical moment. It would blow the roof off of any building the place would be in. So I don't know if that does happen. I mean, that you talk about magic, and that then would set up Rock and Roman for your WrestleMania main event next year. Yeah. And then you could just kind of move forward where Cody would have to face whoever. Maybe you have that. Maybe you have LA Knight beat Jey Uso. Who knows?
Here's another reason The Rock probably is more apt to being involved now is they have the SAG and AFTRA strikes going. They're not producing any films currently. He's got plenty of free time. He's available.
Well, we'll see what happens. That is an alluring and maybe absolutely ground-shaking possibility. Could we see The Rock, which we've been begging for a while to get that face-to-face moment with Roman Reigns, to finally get WrestleMania Roman Reigns Rock in Philadelphia this coming up year. Hopefully we'll be there with a pre-tailgate. So, hey, those are your picks. That's your preview show for this year's SummerSlam. Thank you so much for watching. High Spots and Cheap Pops for Vladdy Dottie. This is Silicon Steve Valley. And here endeth the lesson.